What if your biggest problem right now is not that you're not working hard enough, but that you're working too hard to maintain a life that's already too small for you? I want you to think about that. You've been grinding, you've been consistent, you've been hustling, you've been doing the work, and yet something feels tight, crowded, like you've been wearing a coat that you bought 3 years ago. It fit perfectly then, but now it pulls at your shoulders every time you try to move. What if that tightness isn't a sign that something is wrong? What if it's a sign that something is growing? Welcome to MiNDSHiFT Monday, where we don't just talk motivation, we train perspective. I'm your friend, your buddy, Robert Kennedy III, RK3. That's me. And today, we're going somewhere. We're going somewhere where people are afraid to go, not because it's painful, but because it's true. This show is for the builders, the ones who said yes to a bigger vision and now feel the pressure of becoming someone who can actually hold it. The leaders who are in between. Yeah, if that's you, let's go. Let's go. Come on, y'all. Good morning to the people. TL Speaks. Yes, you are here. Danny Kirk, Lewis, Don Kirk, Lewis, Danny. Hey, how you doing, my friend? C. Marie B, Dr. Lorenda. Good to see you. Kendra Q. Dodd. So glad you're here. Michelle Drinkon. All right. Yeah. So glad you're here. Miss Tanya A on Instagram. So glad that y'all are here. Listen, y'all, do me a favor. Join us after the show for the after show level up. Go to MiNDSHiFTMonday.com/Zoom and hang out with us there. And then if you want to know when we're going live, yeah, text live to 240-557-8679. Tell your people, tell your friends, send them the number, sign them up. No, don't do that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And last thing, do me a favor. Head on over to MiNDSHiFTMonday.com and grab the playlist for the previous episodes so that you know what we've been talking about. Ooh. All right. Well, listen, we're about to get started. Before I play the intro video, I want you to sit with this. Most people think that when life starts feeling tight and crowded and uncomfortable, it means something is wrong. So they try to fix it. But what if the discomfort isn't a problem to solve? What if it's a signal to expand? Y'all ready? Let's do it. Bam. Let's go. Yeah. Joerg Campers, good morning from over the pond. So glad that you're here, my friend. Oh, yeah. So glad that y'all are in the place, in the space, looking at my face. Miss Sarah on Instagram. So glad that you're there. Mrs. Brathwaite1. So glad that y'all are here. Let's do this thing. Oh, my goodness. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that y'all are here. Let's jump in. Let's make this live. Drop something in the chat for me. I want you to think about an area of your life, your business, your relationships, your growth, your health. Where can you feel yourself pushing against the edges of where you are? Where is something pulling at the seams? Go ahead and drop that in the chat for me. Drop one word in the chat that describes where you're pushing against the edges or what that feels like right now. In the meantime, good morning, Twyla Grigsby. Good morning, Judy Steinman. So glad that you all are here. Listen, there's a lot of you on here, and I want you to join me for the after show. Make sure you hop on the Zoom. Tiana B, so glad that you're here. Tyna, how you doing? Good to see you. All right, listen. Where in your life do you feel like you're pushing against the edges? With my kids, somebody said yes. Yep. At work. Yep, I know that feeling. All right. In my life, somebody said, oh, the whole thing. Yeah. All right, good. Well, listen, y'all, let's jump on in this morning. Growing pain, says Miss Tanya. No personal time. Yeah. Yeah. Prosperity consciousness, says Judy. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, that's real. I want you to hold on to that because we're going to drop some stuff today that is different. And I want you to gain some different meanings from today. Let me tell you about a conversation I had not too long ago. I was talking to someone. This person was sharp, driven. They were doing meaningful work. And they said something that I've been thinking about since, not because it was groundbreaking, but because it resonated with me. They said to me, Robert, I feel like I'm always behind. Like no matter what I accomplish, the finish line moves. I cross this finish line and there's another finish line, or I'm just about to hit that tape and then it moves further. I feel like the goalposts are shifting. How many of you feel like that? Go ahead and raise your hand. Do you feel like that, like your goalposts are shifting? Have you ever had that conversation with someone? Yeah, let's go deeper than that. Have you ever gone through a season where things are going really well, but then it begins to feel a little bit different? Like your friends don't understand you anymore. Like something is off. Like you're working hard, but it's not accomplishing what you want. You begin to feel out of place in a place that should be familiar, but you don't know how to fix it. I see a lot of yeses. Nordia Eichner, my friend, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, Miss Tanya. Yeah, right? I want you to think about the irony of that. Things are going well, but your season of success becomes a season of anxiety. Have you ever had that feeling? You're like looking around and you're saying, my goodness, my life is good. I should be ecstatic. I should feel above the moon, Artemis 2. I should feel so high right now, but I feel tight. I feel constrained. I feel like something is off. I feel like something is wrong. Talk to me in the chat. Come on. Have you ever felt like you're running in place in a space where you've had success? I'm asking questions this morning. Am I talking to you? Is it just me? I got all the successful people in the chat. Everybody in the chat is like, your life is good. All of the people on the screen here or in the audience or online, your life is great. Right? Talk to me. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever felt like off? All of a sudden you're doing well and you're looking around, you're like, but there's nothing obviously wrong. Because here's what is happening a lot of times. It's not just stagnation. It's not failure. What's happening is expansion. Yeah, Twila Grigsby, you said it. A new identity is being developed. Yeah. Yeah. Your results have outgrown your self-concept. Your output has outgrown your infrastructure. Your life is asking to become bigger. And instead of leaning into that, you're running faster in a space that was already too small. Yikes. Sound familiar? Here's what I want to ask you right now, and I want you to begin to identify this in yourself. Is the pressure that you're feeling right now a sign that you're failing or a sign that you're outgrowing? And too often we feel pressure and immediately we jump to it's a failure. It's because I'm doing something wrong. I want you to write this down. The discomfort of expansion and the discomfort of stagnation feel almost identical until you learn to tell them apart. And that's the whole ball game right there. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. Here's what most people do. When they feel tight, when they feel overwhelmed, when they feel that sense of too much or overflow, they assume that the answer is to shrink down their goals to fit their current capacity. Right? And here's what that looks like. Oh my gosh, I'm doing too much. Oh my gosh, I can't handle anymore. Oh my gosh, I'm hustling, I'm running in circles. Oh my gosh, maybe that thing that I was after is too big for me. So let me just back to life, back to reality. Let me dial back the vision. Let me be realistic. Let me play it safer. And that sounds wise, right? It sounds responsible. But here's what's actually happening. They're redecorating a house that's too small instead of building a bigger one. Problem isn't vision. Well, actually, sort of. But the real problem is the vision has grown faster than the container. Instead of expanding the container, we keep trying to pull ourselves back into something that we've already outgrown. Dan Sullivan, he's got this great book called, I like his books. I've been talking about them a lot recently. Dan Sullivan has this great book called 10X is Better Than 2X. And Dan Sullivan calls this the 2X trap. You keep trying to do more of what already worked, more hustle, more tactics, more volume, but growth at the next level doesn't come from doing more of the old thing. I'm going to say that one more again. Growth at level 2, growth at level 5, growth at level 10, growth at the next level, growth at your next level doesn't come from doing more of the same old thing. It comes from becoming someone new, which means first, creating the room for that person to exist. You can't grow into a space that you haven't made, right? It's always amazing to me when you think about trees or plants. As a matter of fact, let me show you this. In my house, there's this plant. There's a Croton, right? It doesn't need a lot of light. It doesn't need a lot of water. And it's been around for at least 27 years. My wife and I have been married for 25 years. And this plant was in my mother-in-law's house when I met my wife. Right? So my mother-in-law, when she passed away, my wife took this plant. So this plant has been around. Let me show that to you again. This plant has been around. And this plant, it leans toward the light. It's grown a little bit, and it's thriving. It looks well. There's nothing wrong with this plant. It's healthy. We don't have to do a lot to take care of this plant. This plant looks great. You come to my house, you look in that corner by that couch in that room. You're like, oh my gosh, that is a great plant. And that plant is in a flower pot that constrains its growth. If we were to plant that same plant in the ground outside, it would get much bigger because now it has space for its roots to dig deeper and grow. But that plant is kept at that size because of the size of the flower pot. And I can imagine that if I were to X-ray the flower pot and see where the plant's roots were, I might see them pushing against the edges of the flower pot. Not hard enough to get out, but just hard enough to remain comfortable and safe. I hope somebody's feeling this or understanding this morning. quite often, quite often, hey, George, yes, you have a great week too, my friend. Quite often, the tightness that we feel is because we are in a space that is constraining us, and we keep doing the same thing to manage the space or to stay in the space. And the crazy thing about that is a lot of us fight to stay in the same space. Your space is giving you signals that it's not big enough for you anymore. Your space is giving you signals that you've outgrown it. Your space is giving you signals, right? You begin to look at the people in your space a little bit differently. You begin to look at some of the friends. And not that the friends are bad people. You see, when you're in growth mode, your friends begin to look different to you. And they're not doing anything bad. The space that you're in isn't doing anything bad. But if you're in growth mode, being in that space and trying to function feels constricting, feels constraining. There's a concept in architecture called form follows function, and the idea is simple. Before you design the building, you need to understand what it's going to be actually used for. Because if you design for the wrong purpose, even if the building is beautiful, it won't work. Right? And here's where that applies to you. Most people design their life, their schedule, their habits, their systems, their identity around who they were when they built it. And for a while, that design works. It fits. But then the function changes. You level up. The business grows. The relationships deepen. The calling gets louder, Garen. And suddenly the form, the structure of your current life no longer matches the function of who you're becoming. And so the building hasn't failed. The blueprint is just outdated. Yeah. So this is what expansion looks like. It's not about having more. It's about becoming more. It's about being more intentional so that when the next version of your life shows up, you're not scrambling to catch up. You already made the room. You already made the room. Knowledge Sharing LLC, you're saying doing the same thing the same way, expecting different results. Yeah. And sometimes it's not just about doing the same thing the same way. It's just that we have been experiencing some growth, but we have not understood what that hitting that cap feels like. We haven't distinguished what pushing against the edges means. And so what this calls for is understanding or creating a different mindset so that you can recognize some of that, right? You cannot inhabit a life that you haven't made space for. Just like the plant in my house, it's going to stay in that container because that's the container that we've put it in. And I'm saying it that way specifically because the plant has capacity to grow bigger. But we, my wife, my mother-in-law, myself, the people around it, have put it in a container that inhibits the full potential of its growth. sometimes it's not that you don't recognize your growth. It's that you don't recognize your space. The environment that you're in, you may have been put there by other people. As a matter of fact, we put the plant in the container because if we allowed the plant to grow to its full capacity, it would take over the room. And we live here in this house, doggone it, so we don't want it to take over the room. Are you getting it? Sometimes you're in spaces and people are not bad, but they put you in a container. They put you in a block. They put you in a compartment because if they allowed you to blossom, you would take over the room. And that room would feel uncomfortable for them. So here's today's, oh my gosh, here's today. Yay, my friend, Adrian Benton. How you doing, my friend? Listen, here's the thing that you may have believed. And I want you to think about this differently. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, I need to slow down and do less. That's the old belief. Here's the replacement belief. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, I might need to grow bigger, not smaller. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, I might need to grow bigger, not smaller. The overflow isn't the enemy. The overflow is the invitation. The tightness you feel isn't a sign that you're asking for too much. It's a sign that who you are currently hasn't yet caught up with what you want or where you're growing to. And the answer to that gap is not less. The answer is to become more. And becoming more doesn't mean doing more. It means whoing more. Ooh, I hope y'all got that one. Becoming more doesn't mean doing more. It means whoing more. Dan Sullivan has another great book called Who Not How. And this may mean that your level up comes from simplifying what you do and allowing or recruiting others to be a part of your level up. Right? It doesn't mean that I need to find more things for me to do. It may mean that I need to find others who can do it for me, with me. Right? And that, in essence, may mean that I'm doing less. Growth can come from simplification. And simplification means releasing that old version of you that's been taking up space for where the new one needs to stand. Let's get, we got only a little bit of time. Let's get to our actions for transformation this week. Okay, here we go. Number one, I want you to locate the tightness. This week, find or identify the one area of your life where you feel a bit constrained. Not necessarily the most painful thing in your life, but the most constrained. Where are you feeling blocked in? Where are you feeling like, there's more, but I'm feeling capped out. I'm feeling like I don't have enough space. I can't flex. I'm wearing a tight shirt. Where does it feel like you are trying to pour more into a container that's already full? I want you to find that space in your life. Yes, we're going deep. I want you to think this through, name it, and then write it down. Find that space, find that area. Number two, once you have found that space, I want you to ask the question, who? Who? Instead of asking, how do I fix this? Ask, who would I need to become to hold this comfortably? Or, who do I need in order to grow this? Right? That shift in question changes everything. Not how do I fix this? Not how do I do more? Not how do I hustle harder? Who do I need in order to grow this? Who do I need to become in order to hold this? And it moves you from problem solving mode into identity building mode. And identity building, that's where your expansion begins. That's where the real breakthrough is, right? In the identity. Number 3, this week I want you to make some intentional space. Not clearing your calendar, not another productivity hack, not hopping over to ChatGPT, Claude, or Grok, or whatever you use for another productivity hack. I mean, what is one thing that you are still carrying from the old version of yourself that the new version doesn't actually need? If you think about who the bigger you is, what is one thing that you're doing right now? What is one belief? What is one habit? Just one that you don't need anymore that you can release. One commitment, one belief, one habit, just one. And this week, release it. Let the new version of you have that space. Listen, if today something landed for you, the after show is where we'll go a little bit deeper. Yeah. So we're not talking theory. We're not talking about app motivation. We're talking about application. Bring your situation and let's walk through it together. Let's walk through it together. All right. Monday, MiNDSHiFTMonday.com/Zoom. Jump in after we close out here. We've got another 2 minutes before the MiNDSHiFT Monday level up starts. Listen, here's what I want to leave with you today. The version of you that's coming, the one that you've been praying for, the one that you've been working towards, the one that you've caught a glimpse of in your best moments. That version needs room. It doesn't need permission. It needs room. And the only person who can create that space is you. And you do it by letting go of what no longer fits. Yes, Kendra Dodd, that tight shirt. You do it by outgrowing the story that kept you safe. And all of us have one. You do it by deciding before the breakthrough arrives that you're already the person who can hold it. That coat is pulling at your shoulders. It's tugging. It means you're ready. It means your shoulders are getting larger. Expansion isn't about adding more to your life. It's about growing into the life that's already waiting. Yeah. Listen, my friends, join me in just about 30 seconds for the MiNDSHiFT Monday level up. Go to MiNDSHiFTMonday.com/Zoom. Until next time. Change your life, change your mind, change your story. Or I said it the wrong way. Change your mind, change your life, change your story. Stay grounded. Keep shifting your mindset, my friend, so that you can shift your life. Peace.